Welcome to the Gearwire.com Crosstalk podcast for Friday, September 22nd. I'm your host, Mike Payne, and I'm joined by Drew Cragg.
Good morning.
Dan Augusto.
Yellow.
And the beautiful, beautiful Britton Weatherald.
Kiss me later.
All right, no doubt. Anyway, first off, this week we're going to take a look at the Frontier Designs AlphaTrack, which is essentially the transport, but it includes a fader and a touch script. However, this unit is not wireless, unlike the transport. We're going to take a look at that in a little bit. Next, we've got Native Instruments announced this week some new synths and updates of earlier gear. We're going to take a look at that as well. The new synth they've announced is called Massive. Also, they have the Absynth version 4, FM8, which is the successor to the FM7, and an update on their complete bundle.
Bah.
Big news from Akai this week. As I announce this, thousands of hip-hoppers are gasping at this news. You feel that? The lack of oxygen? That's thousands of hip-hoppers gasping as I announce this. The MPC 500 just announced. We're going to check that out.
The 5,000?
Cool. 500.
500? What is that, like a midget?
It's portable. We'll get into it. We'll discuss that a little further. Last, we've got a super cool in-studio demo this week. Right behind me, we've got the SH201 from Roland, which is a new unit, and behind it, the SH101 from 1983 that our very own marshmallow-loving princess girl, Griffin Barron, was nice enough to lend us to play this out.
Sorry.
A few reminders before we get started this week. The Gearwire newsletter has been launched. Be sure to sign up at Gearwire.com at the top of every page. With that newsletter, we're going to announce a lot of new news. We'll keep you informed on news, events, things like that. Like, for example, on Tuesday, we're having
it's a cakewalk
shootout
clinic.
Or cakewalk clinic. I'm sorry.
We're going to have Tom Byer in from Cakewalk. He's going to be showing off all the new features. We'll also have video.
Nice.
So
it'll be a cakewalk.
Cool. We will. We'll show you guys that soon. If you're in the Chicago area and you want to get involved in that, send us an email. You can also send us an email at crosstalk@gearwire.com if you guys have any questions, any comments, hate mail for Britton, etc., etc.
Okay, come on.
Not wearing his sunglasses this week.
No, he's not wearing his
I was
sunglasses.
going to do it just to generate some sort of feedback from you guys. Quit being lazy. Send us some mail.
Also, if you want to chat with us, you can connect with us at the forums at Gearwire. Those are at forums.gearwire.com/crosstalk. Last, we've got a new site feature. It's the Gearwire Synth Lab. We do video reviews and very in-depth reviews of synthesizers. What's the latest one we did, Dan?
Latest one was the
Microkorg?
Microkorg will be coming out soon.
Okay.
We have the Minimoog V is the latest one we have up.
Nice. So yeah, check that out. That's the Gearwire Synth Lab. First up this week, Frontier Designs AlphaTrack. AlphaTrack is a new mini control surface for digital audio workstations. It's similar to the Presonus Faderport. This unit includes a fader and a touch strip, and in addition to the basic recording transport controls. Weird enough, however, this unit is not wireless, unlike the transport, which is kind of a letdown, but it's still a pretty cool unit. We weren't able to find a price on this. We can assume it's going to be priced similar to the Presonus Faderport, which was about $199.
Actually, I think it is going to be the same price.
$199?
Map. Yeah.
Okay, sweet. So what do you guys think of the...
I think they got Presonus beat.
Yeah. Now, is the Presonus unit wireless?
No.
Okay.
Both are USB, wired in. If it was wireless, it would just... I mean, I'd be kind of pissed that I have the transport.
Right.
Because, it's got everything the transport has and more.
Mm-hmm.
It has the touchscreen, which is basically the thing that separates
wait.
What
it has? Did
touch
you say
strip?
Strip, yeah, the touch strip.
I was about to get excited for
I
a
like
second.
touch strip.
We do have pictures.
Oh, that's cute.
Here it is. It's nice. It's a nice blue color. I like blue.
Does it come in a hot pink?
You can probably spray paint it, but it has more buttons than the fader port as well.
Yeah, it seems like it'd be a little bit bigger, clunkier.
A little bit, yeah. It does seem like it'll be a little bit bigger, but also you get Frontier Design sort of templates. We know with the transport, it is a plug-and-play device. It's pre-mapped for just about every DAW, whereas Presonus, they probably will have templates, but that Frontier Designs already has that because of the success of the transport.
Right.
That's cool. I remember when you guys were singing the praises of the little...
The fader port?
Yeah, the fader port, and I don't think I was too excited.
No, you weren't.
What'd be pretty cool is, just a simple tool would be basically a wireless mouse with just a simple recording transport on it.
Yeah, I like the fader though.
Really?
To be able to just sit across a room, maybe watching some sort of weird Japanese animation, and recording animation at the same time with some wireless headphones. That's a dream of mine that I would like to do.
Okay, that's quite the dream. I mean, I think this is a good. I think they're going in the right direction.
Right.
I mean, because aside from people who are doing more major studio stuff or home studio stuff, you don't really use control surfaces in the sense that like most people only use one fader at a time. They're like,
Yeah, and that's why stuff like this is so great.
No, and that's why I think this stuff is brilliant. Because for me, I would need more than one fader, but I'm also setting levels, doing groups, things like that, doing more overall mixing, like you would probably be doing, Dan. Like instead of just going, okay, that's, you know what I mean.
I like to have the fader bank, but it would be cool to have a separate transport and just fader.
No, this would
right there.
This would be cool. Like have transport in your master. You know what I mean? Just assign it to the master and then have like the rest of your control surface just doing what it needs to do.
That could be good for that.
But like, again, like I said, the principle from where I'm seeing this is as far as an intuitive or, you know what I mean, standpoint, is that it is like great for that small use and that limited use. But like if you're going to be like doing automation on like 3 trumpet tracks, you know what I mean? Unless you're using like, groups and then like assigning your groups in some funky way to do the automation, like you need a pencil and you need to bring down those 3 faders in a certain way, like to curve it like that.
Right.
And it's a certain sort of, I don't know. It's just something different.
Well,
right.
I think I do it a little differently. One thing I really think this would be great for is you have a client in and they're not digging exactly what you're doing. So you'd basically be like, here you go, take this.
I will never bequeath control to the client. I think this is a pretty cool unit, but I don't know, $200. I don't really think that it's worth that much to me. Personally, I'll probably hold out for the Behringer version, which will sell for like $20. That I'll buy into. But no, I can see where this has a cool application. Dan, will you be getting one to replace your transport?
No, I will not be getting one of these.
I won't. I won't be getting any of those. Just as a personal, like I said, from what I do. But
right,
I do think it's a great idea, and for people who don't have a control surface, this is not only
a great start.
Yeah, a great start, and just a way people who are really used to having transport control at their hands. It's great to have, and then also it brings that all important touching a mixer.
One thing I don't know. I'm a Pro Tools user. Are you obsessed with your quick keys the way I am?
No,
like,
absolutely.
You just like bam, bam. Like I don't really need a transport because like I can just go.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm just like boom, boom.
Alt space. Okay.
For me, 3. I just press 3 on the number pad.
All right, next up, we've got some Native Instruments news this week. Some new synths and updates to review, and we're going to take a look at those. First of all, the Massive synth, which is their new synth they just announced. Massive employs what Native Instruments is calling wave scanning oscillators. We don't really totally understand what that is, but we'll speculate on that in just a minute.
There's no entry in Wikipedia at all.
No, so we're kind of shooting dark there, but we'll go on Native Instruments words and kind of examine those a little closer. Also, it offers multi-mode filters, some very cool routing features, and an envelope step sequencer, and more. Let's listen to some samples of that. Do we have any pulled up?
There's some on the Native website.
Perfect. Let's listen.
This one's called Warp X.
Warp X.
It's a multi-track one. It's kind of loud.
It's very Jimmy Edgar.
Let's take ecstasy, guys.
You guys ever listen to Jimmy Edgar?
Yeah.
Sweet. He's sweet.
Have you ever heard of Infiltrate? It's like the experimental music festival. It happens during the Winter Music Conference in Miami. And like Boards of Canada plays there.
Okay, nice.
Stuff like that.
Nice. Well, it sounds interesting. It's got...
I'm going to check out a pad.
Yeah.
There you go.
Come to the light. I see the light.
Either that's within the synth itself or that's a bad MP3.
There is some like...
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably MP3.
Yeah.
But ultimately, you can kind of tell it's a fat synth.
Right.
I think sounds a little different than Absent.
That MP3 masking is like horrible.
So what do we think this wave scanning oscillators is?
I'm going to guess that it's actually a modulation sort of thing.
Okay.
Basically, you can draw a custom wave.
Okay.
Or so it's an LFO, basically. It's not a sound generating oscillator.
Yeah,
Okay.
because that'd be pretty quacky because like if you're drawing in your own oscillation, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well, that would just be wavetable synthesis.
Okay.
To a degree.
And this is basically like a wavetable, but for LFOs, I'm guessing. And what it does is just goes through and just scans, what you draw in.
Well, if we can get some more information from Native Instruments, if you guys are listening, that'd be great.
We
'Cause
will.
It is a little confusing,
after
but we'll
after AES,
Okay.
we're gonna get Native Instruments.
grill
in here,
them out there.
and well, actually, they're not going to be at AES.
Okay.
We might be able to meet up with them, but after AES, we will have Josh come in.
Okay.
Once
Yeah,
again.
we'll have Native Instruments come in here and explain that in a little greater detail. Next up, also Native Instruments announced a new version of Absynth. Absynth version 4 is being released. Includes some new presets, about 200 to be exact. A master level ADSR feature. Freely designable signal flow between Absynth channel sources, an envelope step sequencer like what we saw in Massive, and a price of about $339. So it's kind of a cool update. Not too much news about that, but if anybody uses Absynth, it's pretty cool that they're...
I'm excited about it.
Yeah, do you use Absynth?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, sweet.
It's fun.
Sweet.
I'm sort of disenchanted with Absynth.
Yeah.
I usually just go in if I do use it. I like the sounds.
Yeah.
But if I do use it, I just bring up a preset and then turn off all the effects, and that's what I use.
Yeah.
I don't.
I think a big part of the Absynth update is the look is really, really different.
Okay.
Yeah, so different.
In Absinthe 3, you had all the different windows that you had to go through. This, it seems like it's trying to put everything onto, fit more onto each page. There still seems to be pages, but here's...
There we go.
Sounds like what we just listened to.
It sounds slowed down.
Yeah.
The Flight of the Dolphin. It's a serious one.
Harrison Ford in Blade Runner 2.
Where is reality? Coming this summer.
I am a replicant.
All right. That's great.
Okay.
We should try.
Yeah, I mean, Absinthe, this is cool. Again, if somebody uses Absinthe, this is a interesting update. Something that's common between all of Native Instruments updates that I've noticed is they're all preaching this ease of use, new functionality. So it's
The
a little bit
interface-
easier for people to maneuver.
Sorry.
Dude, I know the kids
Go
with
ahead, Drew.
braces are going to kill us for all this stuff, dude.
The interface looks a lot easier to use. That was
Yeah.
the first thing I noticed.
Yeah.
Because I've been using Absinthe for about 6 months, not that long.
Okay,
So
yeah.
like seeing kind of the new interface and the way it looks and the way it's laid out seems a lot more straightforward.
Right. Well, yeah, it's a cool update.
Bah.
Also, Native Instruments announced the FM8 synth, and that's the from the successor of the FM7. In FM8, Native Instruments streamlined the control process. There we go again with the ease of use, making FM simpler for players and programmers. Also, FM8 includes a new sound morphing matrix feature. Did you guys take a look at that at all?
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting. Basically, within the matrix, you can drag and drop sounds to different corners in the matrix and morph them within that matrix. You can Morpheus them in the matrix.
I don't really use.
Boo.
Shoot me. Shoot me.
Oh, ouch.
I know.
I mean, I guess my whole thing is that I really don't use software synths that much at all.
Okay.
Because I used to use Reason, and then like my computer completely like crash and burn.
Yeah.
Like a junkie on a Saturday.
We'll just edit you out of these sections too then.
No, that's cool.
I'm kidding.
But yeah, I mean, I stopped using software stuff, and I realized really fast that I kind of like the hardware stuff better because it's really more intuitive. Like, because when I had Reason, and I think it is the same way with like Absinthe and all FM7, is it's really hard to assign your rotary knobs. Like, you have to sit there for like 15 minutes and assign all this stuff to get real time.
I don't even
parameter
bother.
training.
I just use the mouse.
Yeah, see, and that really bugs like the living.
For me,
daylights
the
out of
output
me.
is the same. The control is a little different, and I mean, there is a little tiny bit of purist in me, but if I can modulate them with the mouse and get the sound that I want, that's all I care about.
No, I
It's the
feel-
output that I'm concerned with.
I got the Mackie controls, so I just use the faders
Nice.
that are already
Now,
assigned.
do you find the auto assign pretty simple with that?
It's pretty good. Like, just
Okay.
about all the parameters are there. So
See, when I
Nice.
was using Reason, like my auto assign was like this horrible thing in my side. Like, I'd have to sit there and be like, well, I need to use this button for this one.
There's new stuff coming out to make it that makes it easier. I know the new Sonar 6 again has something to make that a lot easier called ACT, or Active Control Technology.
Okay.
Well, remember the X Station or the K Station? X Station we were talking about has those presets already.
Yeah,
you know?
that's the Novation.
Yeah, the Novation.
Apparently those don't work. Those are either kind of lame or they don't work so
See,
well.
this is what I'm talking about. Like, this is the issue I'm running in. Like, so any developers who are listening to me out there, if you can come up with like a hardware controller that's kind of like extremely latchable, you know what I mean? When you just like it auto assigns perfectly.
Yeah,
That'd be pretty useful, guys. You'd make a lot of money.
I think that's more of a user issue, and I think that if there was some sort of user community where people would upload their own assign parameters so that people could download them and use them on their own.
that's
gear.
kind of like where core comes in.
Right. Yeah.
But of course, the companies are aware of this and they are coming up with stuff.
Because I think
Go ahead,
I'm
Dan.
I think we should kind of get back to the FM8.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
for time's sake.
I'm sorry.
The FM7, is a rebuild of the DX7, which, is kind of funny because FM7 is really hard to work, and DX7 is probably the hardest to program synth I've ever gotten my hands on.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried the Alpha Juno one?
No.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, wait. I have tried Junos, but
No, Alpha
not
Juno.
the Apple Juno.
The Alpha Junos when they went digital, and it was like you had to have an extra box to like actually real time assign. So like all the stuff you had to do with one rotary knob, and then buttons. Yeah, it's horrible. But with the FM7, you can download SysX data from the DX.
Yeah, but still, making your own patches, even if you're doing that on the DX7, like I think it's still tough. The DX7 was kind of hard. People got into it, and people got amazing at it because there is a lot there. It's just really, really steep learning curve.
Yeah.
But the FM8, I kind of like, because I really like FM synthesis. I like the sound of it, and used correctly, I think it could be really nice.
Right.
I like how the FM8 is getting away from being a rebuild of the DX7 and getting into sort of its own thing. And I like the morphing feature. I know certain synths like Discovery, and it's the one it emulates is the Nord Lead 2, has the morphing stuff, and I really like using that stuff. In that case, it's morphing control. And I hope that's what the FM7 does, because that's a lot easier than
FM8.
sort of cross FM8. Yeah,
Right.
That's what I hope the FM8 does, because crossfading between sounds has been done, and that's easy to do.
Right.
I hope that what it's actually doing is morphing between parameters instead of actual sounds.
So, and essentially what your take on this is it's a nice way for Native Instruments to allow people to get deeper within FM synthesis, more so than the FM7 was able to.
Definitely, because the FM7, of course, modeled after the DX7.
Right.
Both,
And that's
both very hard to really program.
So you're talking about like essentially just to kind of let my bird brain kind of accept this is you want the morphing feature to kind of act like it's an automation between two set parameter patches.
And that's how it does it for a lot of other synths that have morphing features. Kind of like, you can have on one side, or actually on the four corners, you have 4 different tones. In the middle, you have a completely different tone than any of those other ones instead of the 4 mixed together.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha.
That's for everybody here and for me too, because I'm a dunce.
Well, the last bit of news from Native Instruments is Complete 4, bitch. Whole Native Instruments line just got bigger, adding acoustic
Did you
piano.
just say bitch?
Yes, I did.
We can say bitch?
No.
Oh, fuck.
Anyway, the whole Native Instruments line just got a lot bigger. With the Complete itself, it adds acoustic piano, and yes, that is misspelled. Battery 3, Absynth 4, and FM8. For limited time, Native Instruments is also packaging the massive synthesizer in with that as well. One thing we didn't talk about today was Battery 3, and I hope to take a look at that in another podcast. I'm a battery user, and I have been for about 4 years now, and I'm really excited for
batteries.
getting close.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. I like the 8-bit thing where you can bit crush automatically just right through the...
Yeah, it's a very cool little toy. I use it on every single
Look
track.
how excited
I write.
he is. He's like a small
know.
child in a candy shop.
Come on, man.
Drew and I are going to go crazy about the Battery 3.
You're like a
on this
lonely
podcast.
man in a strip club.
You should see me in my studio, man.
All right, so
I'll give you
that's
some
the
singles
news
later.
from Native Instruments. Again, about the massive. We'll get Native Instruments in here to explain that synthesis a little deeper. But all cool news all around. So the last news piece, last and certainly not least, the MPC 500 was announced earlier this week. The MPC basically now gets smaller but stays just as smart. MPC is now battery powered, so you can take it with you anywhere. You can take it on the plane, in the subway, wherever you go and wherever you want to make music. The 500 includes all things that the MPC traditionally had, with a few exceptions. Instead of the 16 touch-sensitive pads, this unit has 12. Also, the LCD on the MPC 500 is a 16 by 2 LED, and it's kind of hard to be able to chop samples in such a small screen, but they do add some functionality on the control surface to let you do that a little easier. Unit does include most of the standards, the MPC sequencing and sampling everybody's used to. And as far as connectivity, the 500 includes a USB port and compact flash drive.
Has the quantized too.
Right. No, absolutely. All the traditional stuff that MPC users are used to.
Yeah, like I just one of the things is like I get a lot of questions about what do you use for hip hop, and a lot of people generally ask like, oh, that Roland MV8000 seems really cool, doesn't it? I'm like, no, don't touch that thing. Don't even placate Roland's ego on one-offs. And the MPC, and they're like, why the MPC? Why is it so important? It all really has to do with the quantize function. That's just it. I mean, that's what generates the sound. So, I mean, if you're really into like doing, like using Reason or anything like that, but you need something to get you that stutter step, essentially, go get one of these things. I mean, like, they're amazing.
Yeah, I love the MPCs. And the toughest part, like you said, is probably dealing with the screen, the interface, like just... It's hard to see what's going on, but once you get used to it, it's a piece of cake. The same thing on the 1,000, like.
Or you can get recycle and transmit. I mean, like, there's like with this USB connectivity, it like opens up the world for like if you want to do all your editing waveform stuff on your computer, then you can dump it
throw back into the MPC.
Yeah,
right.
And then you're just like go, and then you can transmit the quantize from via MIDI USB into your sequencer of some sort, create a template, and you already got everything there, and you can really just utilize it as basically a signal processor in a weird kind of way.
Any thoughts, Dan?
I feel like this is going to be huge, but there's one factor is that a lot of DJs who really are going to use the new features have probably already switched to laptops.
Laptop, right.
So we're going to, if this is huge, I'm guessing we're probably going to have to see a lot of DJs, either integrating it with their laptop system or scrapping their laptop system.
Right. See, I'd rather go the other way. I mean, this is street price is supposed to be around $800, $800.
800.
I mean, I'd just buy a laptop, and then if I have a laptop, the only thing that I'd really get out of this instead of a laptop is just the control. And you can get, the Motu the M Audio trigger finger, the new Korg pad control, stuff like that.
Well, I don't really see this as a competition against the laptop. That's the thing. Is it like I think
no, but I would see the laptop as competition for this, not vice versa.
Not really. I mean, like honestly, if you're going to choose something more powerful, because like this is a very, very select thing. You know what I mean? Like this is just kind of like a very niche market. You know what I mean? Like this functionality is for electronic music in general, and like anybody knows, like, hey, if I'm going to spend $800, I'm going to get a used laptop and like some sort of programs.
Niche market is real right on there because people who are into MPCs are gonna get this. And the thing is, some people may have moved on. Just because they haven't had anything new actually new for a while.
Right.
Honestly, what I would think would be like their best, like their brilliant next step would not be like creating more, encased like physical box types, but get something like an MPD, like how Korg did the Legacy collection with the controller that was like the MS-10. Do something like that with the MPD 16, the pad thing, and like have a software, MPC that like.
And people are just going to call it a dongle, though.
No, but that's basically where we're kind of getting at.
Dongle is such a dirty word.
Really cool.
Honestly,
It sounds dirty.
It does. It is dirty.
No, but like you see what I'm saying though, like like because you're like I'd rather have a laptop. I divorce myself from this whole thing. It's like, well, if they were smart, they just create some sort of plugin or some sort of interface, and then just like package it with their.
There are so many plugins though, like.
Yeah, but they don't. Akai has like a certain. thing about it. Like their quantize is copyrighted. You know what I mean? Like,
well, didn't Pro Tools buy Digidesign?
They include it within their quantize functions.
They bought it, you know, eventually, but
license it or whatever.
Yeah, licensed it, but like that's not everybody.
Right.
Yeah, how hard is it to, or like how if you heard something that was quantized with the Akai algorithm and then something that was quantized with something like someone spent like maybe a month trying to, you know, reverse engineer it.
It's really obvious actually.
Well, the thing is the end user, the listener, not gonna know a damn thing. I mean, honestly, you could give me a song that, you know, somebody made on their MPC, you know, a Kanye wannabe chopped up an old James Brown song and made it into a new track. We could all do the same thing using Sonar, and you know,
we could take the waveform of something we know that was quantized on an MPC and just like figure out exactly how many MIDI ticks at that tempo are in between each beat, and
that's true. But like honestly, from a creative standpoint, personally, I've heard the difference. You know, like when there's a sample cut on an MPC, it sounds a certain way, and it's a certain signature sound. And like I said, it's a very niche sound. It's not flexible in respects of like, you know, it'll do everything like a laptop can do.
Right.
Because
my thing is, I'm not paying $800 for quantization. Sorry, but
no, I wouldn't either. But I'm just saying like that's the main thing.
Okay. All right. Well, that's the MPC 500, and now we've got something very exciting for everybody, the Gearwire.com Crosstalk in-studio review of the SH201 versus the SH101. Our very own Marshmallow Fairy Princess, Griffin Barron, was nice enough to bring in his SH101. P. Griffin Barron was nice enough to bring in his SH101 for us to shoot out with the 201, which we've had in the studio for a little bit. Without further ado, let's listen. Cool. So first we're going to take a look at the SH101. This was originally produced in 1983, and again, our very own Griffin Barron was nice enough to bring this in for us to shoot out against the 201. So let's get a sample of this. We got the lovely Britton Weatherall who's going to be doing some modulating, and I'll just tinker around, get some sounds out of it. All right. So what do we got here first, Britton?
Well, first we got the modulator. Notice how.
Right.
Okay. So we're going to set it right here. And then it's got different waveforms. You got triangle, square, random, and noise. This is triangle, square. This is noise. This is random. All this other stuff is actually affecting the single to make it sound generally the same. So that's that whole thing. So we're gonna take it over, and now here's your mod for your VCO.
Is that on random? It's a sample and hold.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Sweet.
This thing gets really weird really fast.
And there's your 8-bit holy hell.
Sweet.
And then you have your range.
Okay, that's cool.
All right.
Put that down an octave.
Now you have your pulse width. It's how many times it goes back and forth. 10 would be real wide, you know. And then this is your selection for it. You can go to the envelope too as well, but we like this one. All right, so you have your source mixer. This is how much your pulse width is in the mix. So that's that. And here's your arc. Notice how it, you know, stays real low. So we're going to put it right there. Now here's your sub oscillator. Down at 0, notice how it's really thin. Very 8-bit.
Yeah.
All right.
That's a good thing to have. Beautiful thing to have.
Yeah. It gets lower. We're going to put it right there. Now, here's your last button. It's what octave it does. So let's turn this all the way up for a second. Let's turn this down so you can hear. Right now it's 2 octaves down, your sub. Notice how it just got real thin real fast.
So this is a 2 oscillator thing. They're synced but at octaves.
At octaves, but the sub oscillator has a 1 octave down, 2 octave down normal width, and then you have a shorter width on the third one. Notice how it just gets kind of muddier. All right, so we'll just kind of. And then you have your noise.
Great to have for lo-fi snare noises.
Yeah. Frequency.
That's the filter. That's
the filter.
It only has a low pass. I'm sorry. Low pass filter.
It's not necessarily. Yeah, it's generally just. It's like a band pass filter more or less because it's got a res.
Well, low pass filters have res.
Yeah, so it's I guess
res at the cutoff frequency.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's always nice.
So there's that, and then you got your envelope. You know the shape. So
can we mod the filter?
Mod the filter? Yes, you can actually. No, you can pulse with the filter itself.
Or is this thing?
Yeah.
Cool. I like noise modulation on filters.
All right, and then you got your choice between envelope or gate for your VCA. And then lastly, you have your actual envelope.
Yeah.
Amplitude.
Or that's the attack?
Yeah, attack. You got your
release,
sustain, decay. Sorry, my brain's not really functioning.
One thing I always like to show people.
Yeah.
We turn down that sustain and turn down the decay. Get really short, stabby
We'll check
sounds.
it out. Check. Put it down.
Yeah.
There you go. You got your snare drum right there.
Yeah.
So. All right, now that we've gotten our sound, all right, let's go to the transpose section, which is 3. You want high, low, mid.
So it's basically just transposing the keyboard.
Mm-hmm. Transpose the keyboard. Then you have your portmanteau, auto, on, off.
And I think the difference between auto is that if you let go of all the keys and then press down on a new key, it doesn't do a glide. It only does a glide when you're pushing down another key.
Yeah.
And another one is already held down.
All right, so there's that. You have your bender. Sorry. You have your bender.
And you can have it control the filter, the VCO, and the mod. That's cool.
So you got that. Now, let's have some fun, and let's talk about the arpeggiator.
Yeah.
Sweet. Everybody loves this. So you have the you can transpose the key, but we'll get to that later. So
play to get it going. Oh yeah.
Bastard. Sweet. Oh dear.
up and down.
You just go up and
Down. And that's your arpeggiator.
Oh, there's the transpose.
Transpose it,
Transposed it. Cool. Is it not turning off, or do you got to hit the other one?
If you're watching Marshmallow Fairy Princess, you're probably not very happy right now.
For more than one reason.
Yeah, no.
Cool.
So
Cool.
you got your hold and you got all that
Well,
stuff.
that's sweet. So that's
Fun.
the SH101.
Yeah, and the transpose key won't go off.
Well, sweet.
Well, let's.
So what do you guys think?
I like it a lot.
That's pretty sweet.
It's a nice synth. It's running on batteries right now, which I love.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Like it's a
Well, there's actually an
Take
option
that,
that you can
MPC
get with it,
500.
which is the mod grip, and you can.
oh yeah, the mod grip.
And there's, I don't think it's on.
It's not on there.
Well, not the mod grip, but there's like you can actually mount it and play it like a wearable MIDI controller or
Yeah,
like a
yeah.
guitar.
There's a video by this band called Vocoder.
Right, check it out.
If you're on YouTube, look up Vocoder.
Yeah, we
and
should actually put a link to that on the
at
Crosstalk page.
second 5, there's a guy, like a Borat-looking guy, wearing one of these. But actually, this one, according to Mr. P. Griff, this one was used by They Might Be Giants.
Oh wow,
This particular synth that we have right in front of us.
fun.
Yeah,
Lick the
interesting
keys.
tidbit. There's a little bit of blood on it, actually, on the the low G note.
Awesome. That's hip hop.
But yeah,
Okay.
it's got a great sound. It's noisy, lo-fi.
Yeah,
Yep.
I like it.
it's everything you could want.
Sweet. All
Except
right.
for the SH201.
Yeah, let's check this out.
All right, so the 201. This thing, I just started playing with it yesterday, and I'm in love with this thing. It is amazing. You get a lot of cheesy sounds. It's a little like the 101. It's much like it, actually. You can do the whole monophonic thing. That's portamento off. You can turn the portamento on. There's really no control over portamento time that I can see right on here. There might be something, but in the manual, but I don't read manuals. One thing that's kind of nice is the effects, but I'm going to leave those off for now. Another cool thing, it has layers. Right now we're on the upper layer, and you can see we still have some delay going on. So I'm going to switch to the lower layer, and we can see the effects are on there too. So I'm going to turn that off. So that's the lower layer. Here's the upper layer. And we can listen to those at the same time.
Sweet.
Or we can split it. And we have a nice little marker right there. It shows you where it splits.
See, they should have done that with blood like the 101.
Okay. And there are presets on here. Go ahead and play.
Okay, sure.
One of my favorites is probably in the D bank, number 5. Or no, number 8. There we go.
Sweet.
Got some nice bell sounds. Got the arpeggiator on. I like turning down the tempo all the way on this. You just kind of listen to it forever. Anyway, let's find another normal sound.
Where's our singer? Let's.
All right.
Baby, I feel like I need you.
So let's take a look at our sound we have here. Okay, I'm going to switch to oscillator 1. We can see that's a super saw. You can also choose feedback oscillator. Switch just to oscillator 1. So that's the feedback oscillator. We got noise, sine wave. That is a triangle. We got a pulse wave, and you can control the pulse width with this knob. Square wave, and sawtooth. Also something on the feedback oscillator that we didn't check out. You can control the feedback on this one. You can of course, you got your pitch, detune. So let's turn on oscillator 2. See what we got going on here. I'm gonna change that to the feedback oscillator. And oscillator 1, I want a pulse width.
Sweet.
Pulse. Okay. There's a wide button here that changes your pitch knob to 24 semitones or 2 octaves.
Sweet.
So okay, so right now we have the feedback oscillator 2 octave ups from oscillator 1, which is a pulse with the width set pretty high. We can sync these. And since we're transposing oscillator 2, it gets a little funky. Ring mod. So now oscillator 2 is modulating oscillator 1, like a ring modulator, but let's leave it on mix for now. We got the low frequency thing, kind of like on the SH101, it's a sub oscillator. Right now it's set to flat, We can boost it, so we get a little fatter.
That sounds
and we
pretty
do a
good.
cut, so it gets thinner. Kind of nice,
Yeah, it's
nice
all
to
right.
Have there, have there to mix with the filter.
Yeah.
Step up from the SH101 is we get multiple types of filters. We get low pass, we get high pass, band pass, and we can actually bypass the filter altogether. And with the low pass, as with all the filters, we get both 12 and 24 dB per octave.
Awesome.
12 is a gentler one. Of course, we have resonance and key follow. If we turn that down and we just hear the resonant frequency, it's going to stay pretty much the same. If we turn up the key follow, it'll follow the key. And then, of course, amplitude level. We have an overdrive as well, which is nice to have.
Awesome.
All right, turn off the overdrive. I'm gonna turn the effects off as well. Oh, that's the other layer. Oh, I completely switched.
You ruined it.
Sorry about that.
Can't do that on the 101.
Yeah, you can't ruin it on the 101. Here,
Yeah, you can.
Try to match it. Actually, that's pretty good. It's pretty close. All right, cool. So effects are off, pretty much. Of course, we have our amplitude envelope. Sort of smooth stuff out if we want. Add some natural reverb.
There's
with
so
the-
much more to it now. You know?
If that ain't 80s, I don't know what is. We got a
That's
filter
smooth.
envelope too, which is cool, and we can control the depth. Let's mess with that.
Huh.
Of course, the arpeggiator is on this, so we are hearing some nice stuff. LFOs. It has 2 LFOs here. It's really nice. You can control the depth. It's controlling the filter right now. You can sync it with the tempo, which is nice.
Yeah.
Different waveforms. That was a triangle. Now we got sine, sawtooth. That's a square wave. Here we have sort of like a sine, but with chopped off tops. I don't remember the name to that. Here we have sort of a modulated square wave. And of course we got the random. So we can have that effect of pitch as well. Pulse width. You can hear that because we got a pulse wave on oscillator 1. I like it on the filter. Could also have it control just the pitch of the second oscillator. That's not going to do anything because we have a feedback oscillator on there. Or the amplitude. I like the amplitude a bit. We also have a pitch envelope. If we turn that up, I'm going to have to turn off the arpeggiator.
Sweet. Thank you.
And this is only affecting oscillator 2. I don't know if you can hear it. We can put it on oscillator 1 as well. Kind of hear that bending
Yep.
of
Right.
the upper
Yeah.
octave. And also on this, we have an external in. I'm not really looking at that right now, but basically that gives you the filter. You can also modulate it with the LFOs.
Sweet.
Kind of nice to have. Kind of one of the coolest things about this. I know, it's kind of cheesy, but we got D-beam. Right now it's off. You can assign it to the pitch, and we might want to get a wide shot on this.
It's a theremin. Holy crap.
It's like a theremin, but we could also have it control the filter. Turn down the depth here.
I want it to express something to me.
The expression right now, It's just controlling volume. I'm sure you could route to do something else. We just don't have it set up for that.
Let's get an arpeggiated patch and play with the D-beam.
Okay. Try something else. Okay. Let's try a different patch. Actually, A1 I know is arpeggiated.
Nice.
So this is a high pass filter, it sounds like. There we go.
Sweet.
Sort of use it like a gate.
Right.
Here, you try, man.
Sweet.
Sweet.
And you could also, on both of these, you can record a sequence and play it back.
Nice. Very cool.
But we won't really get into that.
Right.
So those are the two.
Well, cool.
Roland SH101
All right.
and 201.
Again, we want to thank our lovely Marshmallow Princess, P. Griffin Barron, for bringing in the SH101 for us to shoot out with the SH201. That was excellent. Thanks, everybody, for listening this week, and that concludes the Gearwire.com Crosstalk podcast for Friday, September 22nd. Again, I'm your host, Mike Payne, and I'm with Drew Cragg, Dan Augusto, and Britton Weatherall. Thanks, everybody, for listening, and tune in next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Peace.